Hey, howdy, hey, folks. It is Mrs. Johnson with the Agro Wisdom Channel. We're doing fun stuff today, and we're interviewing my husband because he does all sorts of crazy stuff in welding, or he does welding stuff, so we're going to talk to him about it because I'm not the welder. He is, so we're going to learn some stuff. His name is Jacob, and I love him very much, so, and he's my first interview, so I love him so much, and I'm so grateful. So, this is Jacob.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello.
To the children. Okay. These are my FFA babies. Okay. You want to give a little spiel about who you are and what you do?
Okay, my name is Jacob. I'm a mobile welder and a fabricator, so I make custom projects for people and fix metal things when they break.
Yeah. He also teaches welding, but that's a whole nother video we're going to do later. So, Jakey, I have questions for you. What would you describe your official title as? Or titles?
My job title would be a welder and fabricator.
Okay.
That'd be my title. It's on what's on my business card.
Oh. And then also, like, I guess a business owner, too. Because you own your own little...
Yes.
It's an LLC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sole Proprietary LLC.
Okay. Business words. We'll learn about that. Don't worry. Okay. In 30 seconds, tell me what you do overall, like tasks and stuff.
So I am responsible for interpersonal communication for finding jobs and making sure that they are done to the customer's standard. Mm-hmm. I then have to source materials and then have to fabricate said materials into whatever they need to be turned into, and then I have to go through and weld all the joints necessary in the proper way to keep them functional for longer than I'll be alive.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, time for the fun questions, because those are like the general spiel questions. What prepared you the most for this job, like previously?
So the fabrication part, what prepared me for that would be just kind of hobbying. I mean, at like 4 years old, Legos would be the first thing. Going on from there, I did woodworking stuff. I worked at a lumber yard where I did more woodworking and then general maintenance.
Okay.
After that would be taking a welding course to learn to weld, and then going through and getting qualified as a welder to be able to weld stuff properly. Okay. That would be the background.
So it's just like building stuff is helpful?
Yeah,
I guess
a big part of it is being able to measure properly,
right.
cut properly, and just kind of be able to...
So like practice.
Doing
stuff.
Being able to lay something out in pieces before putting it together.
So, and then you also said, the like welding classes and knowing how to weld well. And I have a question.
Yes.
Follow-up question. You said you were qualified, and I know the whole spiel on that, but for someone that like maybe doesn't have access to qualifications, or like isn't sure where to start, like what's the use of qualifications for you owning your own business?
So the use of having a qualification for me is giving customer satisfaction. Realistically, it means nothing. It doesn't help me with insurance, doesn't help me with any of my business. It simply lets the people know that someone tested my welds and said they're good enough. Now, in getting a job, it may help a little bit getting you in the door, but any job you go to, you still have to take a welding test there.
Okay.
So, and there are plenty of people who get hired as welders that are not qualified.
Okay.
Therefore, they can still weld better than some people who are qualified.
Okay. It's
just a piece of paper that says, it's like a diploma.
Okay. Okay, thank you for doing that. Also, next question. Describe the kind of person that you think would really enjoy what you do as a job. Like,
I would say the parts of my job that I like would be the being able to switch projects every maybe week, couple weeks, month. That way I'm not a big fan of doing the same thing over and over again. Like, I will never apply or try to work at any sort of production welding because you do the same joint over and over and there's no creativity involved in it. Versus when you do small jobs, there's a lot more, like, you have to be almost artsy and creative in building it.
Oh, you said artsy. You have a Etsy that you sell artsy kind of stuff on.
That's another thing that you can do to supplement income is stuff like Etsy or craft fairs, stuff like that. People like boutique items.
Yeah, because Jacob makes cute little horseshoe cowboys, and I actually have like little cows and metal signs and stuff, and I love them because I get the first drafts, and I think they're amazing, but he doesn't. So I actually have some of your little cows and stuff, so maybe we'll show them.
All right.
Let's see. What is the worst and best parts of your job?
Worst part of my job is getting burned and being in pain, because occasionally I have burned like my fingerprints off for a couple days. I have laid in stuff that so I could get underneath things to weld and repair them, and I laid on like stinging nettle, and for the next day I'm just in like burning pain. So occasional pain and discomfort is the worst part. The best part of it is just like the satisfaction, I think. Satisfaction of finishing a job and looking at it and being proud of something.
Nice.
Being able to almost boast about how good of a job you did because you spent a lot of time and effort, and not even just fit but like mental effort thinking about every step of it, and everything was planned, and then when it comes together you feel very accomplished.
I'm glad to hear that. I would say that too. But has his like wife, I think the worst part for me is like the cancer risk.
Yes.
That's
I
scary
hope they cure
for me.
cancer in like 40 years.
Yeah. That's
PPE
a
is
risk.
very important.
Yeah.
Fumigators, respirators.
And then I think the best part of his job is that his hours are kind of flexible quite a lot. And so he gets to hang out with me a lot. And he kind of gets to, at least for like the welding job or the welding business part, like he can kind of do it whenever. So he can kind of work around my schedule a lot.
Yeah, it's very flexible for doing the quiet work, but anything that has to be done with another person, it's kind of, you gotta be more on their time schedule.
Yeah.
So I have had times where I've been doing something and I've had to drop it to go maybe give a quote or do an inspection.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes he gets calls and texts and he's like, oh, I'll be back in 30 minutes. I gotta go look at the thing.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, like people, I feel like your customers are pretty good that if you're like, oh, hey, I'm like occupied and busy and I'll come see it tomorrow. Like a lot of people are like, okay, as long as you're like,
that's very
sorta
important
open.
with doing a business that you own, is if you don't set some sort of boundary with people, they'll just kind of walk on you. Because you got to be able to say, I'll do it, not right now.
Yeah. Cool. This is a question kind of following up on one of my last questions. What kind of person would hate this job? Like, really, really hate it, do you think? Would hate, like, owning, like, a welding business. Like what you do.
If you like having steady income, if you're not good at planning ahead or talking to people, if you don't like talking to people you don't know, you would not like this job. Because every person I work for or do jobs for, I don't know them, and usually I have to introduce myself to them and be very like outgoing in conversation.
Okay.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah. Jacob's a little less talkative than I am socially. So I'm a yapper, which is why I'm a teacher, by the way. Okay, follow-up question. I think we've covered some of this, but is there other skills that you don't think you've covered yet? You know, like the hard skills or like the soft skills? Because I know you own your business and you like run around and talk to people, and you have to like file your own taxes and do the write-offs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, are there things that you've maybe not covered?
Skills that I've had a hard time getting good at least good enough, is like being able to track stuff efficiently. Let's say I drive a company vehicle. I have to track the mileage. I have to keep track of receipts for gas. That organization in a timely manner can be difficult because it can build up very quickly. So that side of it, sourcing materials for jobs, especially if it has to be done quickly, can be very difficult.
Oh,
And then the welding side of it, I'd say the only skill would be you have to be somewhat good with electricity, kind of how that works.
like understand some of the science
Yeah,
concepts
basic principles
behind
of
welding.
electricity. And
Sciencey stuff.
that, and then the engineering side of being able to blueprint something.
Oh, okay.
Because like if someone wants a bracket for a chair or a bench, you have to be able to make that. You also have to be able to make it in a way that looks good and is strong enough to work and can match its needs before you make it. You can't make it once, it not work, and then make it again, because people will not hire you back.
Okay.
Repetitive business is the biggest business. You have to leave a good impression.
Yeah, and I've noticed that a lot. It's like you've done
Mm-hmm.
like some business for like some of the people that you teach with,
Mm-hmm.
like some of the other professors and stuff, and they've been like, "Oh, hey, Jacob welds, and he's got his own business. I wonder if he'll fix my gate." And then you go and you like fix your gate, and then you're like, "Also, we can put you on kind of a rolling work schedule for your ranch, and then you just call me, and then I just invoice you at the end of the month."
Yep.
And like that wouldn't happen if you weren't like talkative, and like usually for the most part that's worked pretty well for them.
Yeah. Going back a question or two, the most difficult thing to do in the job is give people the bill. That's the hardest part.
Oh yeah,
And
Jacob's bad at giving himself good rates.
Yeah,
and
I
paying himself
have talked to a couple people who are like multi-million-dollar business owners that are in trades, and what they say it is when you give somebody a bill or you send an invoice or a bid on a job, you should almost be embarrassed at the price.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to make any money, and you're just donating your time. And if you're okay with that, then that's what you're doing. But it's almost you feel bad. But to some people, that's what they need.
Yeah.
So to them, it doesn't seem outrageous. But to someone who can do that skill and thinks it's not that difficult, to you it seems really outrageous. But after you add in, like, let's say welding, if I charged $30 an hour to weld, I would also have to separately charge for gas, consumables, the stuff that goes out on machines, repair and tear and wear, and then you got to do gas for engine driven, gas for driving around, the wear on your vehicles, maintaining everything, the time that goes into that, time that goes into fixing something when it breaks.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're charging $50 an hour to pay yourself $50 an hour. You're charging $70 an hour and making $25.
Yeah.
There are a lot of
Because you have to, when you own a trades business, I guess, specifically for welding, or like any other trade that you would be doing in ag, like kind of what Jakey does, it would be like you have to absorb all the overhead anyway. So like I guess follow-up question, like I know you just went through the process of getting your own business bank account and stuff, and so like all your money goes into that account.
Yes.
Like,
that is the first thing you should do is separate your finances.
Is the LLC or the business paperwork so you're like a legit business?
Yeah. As soon as you get a business started through whichever state you live in, then you have to apply for an EIN number, and with that number, it's kind of like your business's social security number. You're able to open a bank account for that business and separate your finances, so then if anything ever happens with your business, let's say you're a farrier and you run into someone's horse, and this was a super expensive fancy racehorse, and now they try to sue you for it, they can sue your business, and if they win, they get your farrier's trailer, maybe your tools and your truck. They don't get your house. They don't get your personal bank account.
Because it's separate.
It's separate.
Now. Okay.
That's why it's important for tax, yes, but mostly for liability.
Yeah. I'm glad that you brought up farriers, because I forgot that those are also very tradesy people in the ag world.
Dying art. And it's a creative thing almost.
And like, I don't know if ferrying is a dying art, but like yeah, kind of.
Yeah. It's more than
Ferrying
just less
is
horses.
That's a whole nother conversation we can talk about.
Yeah.
Let's see, where was I? Okay. Are there things that you would never, ever, ever, ever change about your job because you love them so much?
No. If you, I just think that you always have to be able to change. If you can't evolve with stuff, you fall behind and you're no longer.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing. I mean.
Maybe the creativity part and like the construction and the building part.
Well, like that, yeah.
But that's kind of the basis of your job too. So.
Yeah, that's like
Are there things that you would definitely change because you hate them? Like, had you get bigger, better, or something you would have done from the get-go? Like would you talked about the paperwork and how that's kind of a hassle.
What?
Like, would you ever hire someone to do your paperwork?
If I could, yeah. I mean, I would hire someone to, eventually, if you really want to scale a business, you hire someone to do everything, and then your job is now to keep all those people working well together. But something that I would change, now, or would have changed, would be when I started a business, I thought I needed new equipment. Don't buy new equipment. Buy something, like, do your research, find something that is, like, if you want to buy a vehicle and you want something reliable, you look it up, you find out, you buy a Toyota, right? You want a good welding machine, you look into it, you go buy a Lincoln, a old Lincoln, like a SA200, SA250. Okay. You buy something used, and it will work.
Okay.
And then if it doesn't work, you now get to learn how to keep it working, and then you get better at your job because you know how your stuff works.
Okay.
Yeah. Buy used. Don't buy brand new. Until you can. When you can, you buy brand new, because then you know what's happened to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jacob has... Actually, Jacob's bank lady, when he opened his bank account, I, swung by with him. It was really sweet, because when she did the paperwork, she was like, oh, hey, by the way, if you ever want someone to, be in charge of your paperwork, and then, gestured towards me, was like, if it's that human that came in with you, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
So you can add people to businesses fairly easy for, paperwork reasons, and not exactly have them on payroll.
And if you do want to...
maybe it's a family thing and you want to add your kid to it.
Better with your taxes, hiring a family member can help with tax breaks a lot, but I'm not making enough at the point where I need more tax breaks.
No. Plus, a lot of what you do, because you weld part-time and then you teach part-time, so, it's not like you're doing this full-time. If you were doing this full-time, that might be a different story for you.
Yeah.
So if you ever transition to directly one or another, you might change that.
Yep.
Okay. I think I have only one more question left.
All right.
Let me find it. Oh, yes. Because I'm going to be teaching high school. What would you tell your high school self to do? You could do freshman or you could kind of do, throughout the grades if you wanted. Or, just your senior self. What would you tell yourself to do while he's in high school about getting this job? Even if it wasn't really on his radar, what would you recommend him doing then and there to kind of set yourself up a little better?
In welding?
In, welding business. Owning a welding business.
I mean, I did pretty good. I, passed your classes because, I use trigonometry almost every single day, building stuff and setting it up and being able to check square without the right tools. There's a tool for everything, but if you don't have every tool, you need to know how to, do math, usually. So math's very important for this kind of thing. Business owning, I would say I wish I got better at spelling. I can't spell very well, which now with autocorrect, of course I can figure it out, but I'd be a lot faster if I didn't need to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be worried about it.
And the impression stuff, too, is when you, first text people. Yeah.
that's the thing. When you text somebody, you have to, you got to be kind about it.
Kind and like, have you ever had a thing where like they don't? See, we live in a really small community, so like, whole spiel. But like, have you ever had an instance where like you reach out to somebody and they're like, no, thank you, because of maybe some professionalism issues?
Not with professionalism. I've had people be like, that's a little out of my price range. Okay, well, thank you very much. If you ever want something about the job to change to make it less expensive for you, we can do that. Or if you just in the future want to do it, let me know. It's good. You always want to leave every relationship you have on good terms. Like, even if you have a job you hate, put in a 2-week notice, suck it up for 2 weeks, so then that place doesn't hate you now. Because you never know when that person's going to show up again in your life. You run into people that you knew 10 years ago, 1,000 miles away, like, more often than you'd think.
Yeah.
So, leave every relationship you can well. And then in high school, I would say what I would have done to do better, because business side of it, you're not going to learn that in high school. They don't teach it, really. There's no way to learn it.
I guess like basic math really would be helpful for
welding,
like your textbooks.
What's good in welding, if you can, try to get your instructors to like do some sort of competition, because then you get to go out and you get to meet people. So meeting people early on when you're younger.
And like the resume stuff too.
Yep.
Is like, if you're really invested in doing that, like having a resume that already says, oh yeah, hey, like I got 3rd place in this welding competition.
Yeah.
And
you meet people, you learn more welding doing it, but the big thing is you get to talk to people who have already done what you want to do. You talk to those people, find the person that you like, because that's the person that you'd want to be. Find that person, ask them how they did it, and listen. Biggest thing is you either make a mistake to learn, or you listen to someone else who made the mistake, and you listen to it.
Monkey see, monkey do, or a do as I say, not as I do situation. Okay, so those are the ends of my questions, but I guess I have a question.
All right.
Because we talked that you own a welding business, and you're like sole owner operator, essentially. But like, when I asked you about to describe the things you do, you were like, I build things, I blueprint things, and I weld things together.
Yeah.
What would you say your like most common projects are?
So,
like when someone reaches out and is like, hey, I need you to do this, what's your most common projects?
Most small jobs, usually it's something that broke, that is no longer made anymore. So whether that's a ring to hold your stove in that broke, or you want a cattle guard that someone installed and then it broke and you can't get that replacement part, you just need it to be redone, or something that's not working anymore. There's not one thing that I do a lot of. It
sounds like you do a lot of repairs, though.
Repair is a big thing, especially mobile. When you're mobile welding, unless you go out and get a job doing that, like a pipeline welding job, something like that, where you take your truck and you go and weld. Unless if you're in a town and it's like I'm repairing stuff, or I have mobile welding.
Yeah, because you've redone
pipe
trailers.
Fence is a little bit, but most people that need pipe fence done will build pipe fence themselves.
Yeah, they do the ag welding that you always point out when I walk with you, and you're like judging the welds.
Yeah, and I can sit there and be like, that's a bad weld, but you know what? Their fence is built.
Their fence is built, and they'll call you maybe when it breaks.
Yeah, but that's exactly what they're going to say. Is they're like, yeah, I could have paid someone $35 a foot to build this fence, or I did it on my Saturday. Yeah. That's a big thing about it, but there's not one specific thing I do a lot of. Again, the most repetitive thing is Etsy. When something sells, you remake it. Then you make something that people like, you remake it a lot.
Yeah, so that was my next question, is like, what kinds of things do you take to crafts fairs and Etsy, and like, what did those things look like?
Small things. Small things is what you want to make. You don't want to make like a barbecue and try to sell a barbecue, because maybe you sell a barbecue every couple times you go, but people aren't going there to buy a barbecue. If you make something that They can grab with one hand. If you have a bag, good. Or if they already have a bag from another store, it can fit inside of a paper bag. Something
or like
that size
one of
or
the
smaller.
tote bags.
Yeah, a purse. Something that can fit in a purse is perfect. Because craft fairs, you want to make something that people are going to think is cute. It has to...
And Etsy is like an online craft fair is what I've learned from
it has to,
this gentleman.
People have to think it's cute, it looks nice, but then I think it helps a lot. It has to have a function. Those are the two things. If it looks nice and it works, it does something. Like if I were to make wall art, people wouldn't buy it. I make wall art that now has hooks on it so they can hang their stuff, people buy it. If I were to sell horseshoes that looked like a cowboy, they wouldn't buy it. I make a horseshoe that looks like a cowboy sitting next to a campfire that holds your candles, they buy it. I don't like the idea of just selling art. I like the idea of selling art that has a use.
Yeah, but you can totally sell like metal art, like the cute little
you
signage
definitely
and stuff.
can, and people will buy it.
That's not Jakey's thing.
I like making something that will get used.
Yeah.
Therefore, I have stuff in where I live that I don't use, but I think it looks nice. It's I'll buy stuff like that every once in a while, but
okay.
I like stuff that has a use.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's my interview.
Is it you wanna leave final notes or anything? Anything you want to say that I didn't ask?
Nothing that you didn't ask. I'd say just to condense everything down about welding and business owning. Business owning is you gotta be on top of it. Don't let stuff build up, no matter what it is.
Paperwork's important.
Procrastination can hurt you, and when you get into some things, procrastination can cost you more money. The welding and fabrication, the smallest part of that is the welding part. It takes half an hour to prep a joint and 5 minutes to weld it. So being able to measure and cut accurately is more important. Another thing, business-wise, is just interpersonal communication, being kind, being outgoing, and you want the people around you to feel happy. But you also don't want to do it at your own expense. You have to be able to... And if there's someone that you don't want to... that you're working for, you don't really like the way they treat you or other people, finish that job, again, end on good terms, and then...
Say no thank you next time, maybe?
Well, the way you say no thank you to someone that you don't like working for is let's say someone wanted me to build him a gate. This person was really rude to me and was like, sat and watched and critiquing.
So this happened?
No.
No. If it happened.
Yeah, but let's say someone like that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just giving an example. Someone like that, where they annoy you, but it's not like, oh, I just don't like the way they smell. It's like they're legitimately mean. They're kind of annoying. But yes, they paid you on time.
They're not.
What you do with someone like that is they go, hey, I liked the gate you built. Can you build me a second gate? Or can you build a fence around this side of my house? Can you make me this or that, or a feeder, or something? I'm thinking
they ask
agricultural
for more
based.
business from you.
Right? This person, you don't like working for him. You didn't like working for him last time. So you write up a quote and you double it. You give it to him. Because then maybe, and if they ask why, you go, I've gotten a lot of business. My rates have gone up. Expenses have gone up with the current state of everything, which always works because everything's always getting more expensive. Then you say that, and they'll either say yes, and you go, wow, I'm now making double on this job, but you're being paid for the mental strain you're getting, or you don't get the job, and you didn't want it anyway.
Would it be possible, since you said, oh, hey, like, just up your rates if it's frustrating, and that would make it a little less frustrating?
Yep.
Do you think an option would be to be like, oh, hey, I'm really booked out, like, I'm booked out really far in advance, like, is that okay? Would that be a good option?
No,
to kick the can down the road a little?
I personally don't like that because you're still just putting off something that you don't like, and I already talked about how pushing stuff away that needs done is never good. Unless it's true and you legitimately can't fit that in for months. Yeah. Tell them that and still double your rates.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you don't want the job, never deny business. If unless it's someone says, hey, I want you to climb a skyscraper and hang off the edge of it.
You did that one day. Jacob actually had to deny business because there was this crazy guy that, like, came in and was like, hey, will you fix my trailer? And Jacob was like, this is, like, so bad. It was a liability thing. The
only reason I denied him, I told him I could do it, but it's going to take longer than the time frame that he wanted. He goes, I need it done in this time frame. Like, I can't do it in that time frame.
Yeah, because
I'll do it.
He had a really bad trailer and basically needed a full, like, rebuild on it, like,
so,
bottom.
Yeah, how it was is a guy wanted a trailer fixed to move a barge, a actual barge that splits in two and goes onto this one trailer, and he wanted it repaired when I could stick my entire arm through the frame of every part of the trailer, and I could push my finger through the metal because it went in salt water so much for like 10 years it was rusted through. Like, I can fix this. I'm going to take the top off and rebuild the entire frame of the trailer. I can fix it. It would take me a week. He needed it done that day.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And yes, could I have maybe welded a plate from the top to the bottom that day and got it to where it'd go down the road? Yeah, but no part of it was structural. Even if that part I fixed worked, the back end of it could still fall off and kill a family of 12. And then the last person to work on it was you.
Yeah.
It's not, again, I told him, like, I can get it done this week for $4,000.
Yeah.
Right? I doubled my price, and it was the time frame.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was a job that I had to turn down because I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it happens, but I still tried to get the business.
Yeah. And that was like, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think worst comes to worst, as simple, rather than delaying something, it sounds like, like, finding polite ways to tell customers, no, thank you, I can't take that job right now, without being like, oh yeah, we'll just schedule it for later. Worst comes to worst, you can always tell someone no politely.
Mm-hmm. You tell them no in a way that if they said yes, you'd be happy.
Yeah. So, interview with a welder that owns a business. There you go.
Well, metal manipulator.
That guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Do it. Okay. Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
Okay.